Eagles going to do? And here he is, folks.
Oh, he showed
up.
up.
Further ado,
Finally.
my friend, Philly.500. He joins us now. Philly,
they call him Fart Holmes, and that's exactly what he is. Coming on with bullshit. And first of all, I was on time. You keeping me back in there on purpose long to make it look like I'm scared and late. 500 here. 500 don't shake. This team ain't rebuilding. This team's about to kick Dallas's ass yet again. And I just think it's great that Mark Holmes puts more stock and talks more shit in February, well, March now, before the free agency even starts, but he gets real quiet in December, don't he? Real quiet when it matters. That's right. So keep talking your shit, because the same thing that happened for the last 30 years is going to take place. Look at it.
You know what, Philly? You are riding the fence right now of rebuilding or trying to go for another.
What do you mean rebuilding? Man, nobody's rebuilding.
Bro,
you look at how come you believe the stupid tweets up about trading Saquon Barkley, but when it comes to Dallas, oh no, everything is wrong, everything is fake. You know that that's bullshit trading Saquon Barkley. Stop.
You know your team has taken some major hits this offseason, bro.
Where? What hit, Mark?
Coaching?
What hit? We haven't. Free agency hasn't started. What hit?
Brown.
Who does Nakobe Dean play for right now? Who does he play for? He plays for the Eagles. Who does A.J. Brown play for? He plays for the Eagles.
Okay,
you
Philly.
haven't done shit yet.
Okay, Philly, let me ask you this then. So Monday's legal tampering, and that's when teams can sign a guy. You have to post-date him until the 11th of March when the new year has started.
Oh, but Mark will tell you Dallas is already tampering. They're illegal
tampering's going on. We know that.
Well, wait a minute here. Wait a minute, Philly. So you would agree then that Jalen Phillips is the property of the Philadelphia Eagles for the next 5 days, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, then why haven't they offered him a deal?
I don't know that they're going to.
Bro,
I don't know if the money's going to work out. But if they decide to part ways with Jalen Phillips, that doesn't mean that the Eagles are admitting to some sort of rebuild.
So if you lose Phillips, you lose a third-round pick that you traded for him. And how are you replacing that? Are you going to go free agent?
Well, I mean, that's what we got to see. I would think they do it in free agency. I believe it will be done in free agency. I believe Jalen Phillips and that situation will determine how free agency goes. I believe A.J. Brown in that trade will determine how the draft goes.
Okay. How about you? Big news, Mark. Big news. You guys restructured contracts. You got some money under the cap. I mean, you still got work to do. If you want to
got an ass defense,
you
still ain't got not one free agent yet. You haven't signed anybody yet. You've done nothing.
But we'll bring back Pickens. We've already, even with Pickens on the franchise,
had him last year.
Even with Pickens on the franchise tag, currently we have $8 million. Okay, and there's still a lot of contracts that they can work on. They've already said they're going to work on restructuring Osa Odighizuwa, which will be $12 million. Kenny Clark is another one that they're looking at probably extending him to reduce his $21 million. And Quentin Williams, they can flip the trigger on him and get another 12. So probably what they're looking at, because they're not going to do everybody, probably looking at about $55 to $60 million of money that is possible to spend. Will they spend? I don't know.
On what?
Well, allegedly, Max Crosby is down to pretty much the Bears and the Cowboys, allegedly. That's what the
Raiders. That's what Spy Tech.
Yeah.
The word is in Indianapolis that if they're going to move them, they're going to move them with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And they're going to Cowboys. And like you said, I mean, Spy Tech, if they're going to move the guy, you're going to have to move a dude with $30 million.
Yeah. That's a big chunk of that money that's right there. And at least a first round pick and maybe another player. I mean, that's a lot. And I'm really on the fence on that and say, am I better off doing that, or am I better off going ahead and getting like a Bradley Chubb? I think Mika Fitzpatrick is going to be released. For the money that you're going to pay Max Crosby, get Bradley Chubb and Mika Fitzpatrick.
How about this? How about this here, Philly?
Well, maybe we'll flip the triggers.
How about you do this?
You ain't got nothing to flip there, bro.
Maybe we'll flip the triggers.
I think he does.
Remember the Cowboys. We flip the triggers.
Tell me what you make of this. If this guy really does want out, why not trade him to the Raiders? And here, follow me. You trade him to the Raiders for Crosby. You get your edge rusher. He makes 30. AJ makes 30. Because if you do this, Philly, and you send AJ Brown to a team for draft picks, you're not winning that draft. And you're not winning that trade. But for a player, you're covering money. You could post-date it to June 1, which would be lesser on your cap. You guys could work together. They're going to need a wide receiver for Fernando Mendoza. You need an edge rusher, and that helps set your defense for the next couple of years. He's a 28-year-old player. If it's a $30 million, you're probably going to have to sit there and pay the guy. And know this, don't you agree in the next 3 years? You got that guy under contract for 3 years. The edge rushing room is going to go to $50 million. You'd have a guy in 2 years from now that's still 28 and productive, and he's making $30 million. You're not going to be overpaying. It's going to be under the market.
No, it's the first I've heard of that, of doing that. I'm not opposed to something like that, but I will tell you this: I would be more shocked if the Raiders would do something like that. I mean, do they really want to get a older wide receiver, even though they're getting rid of an older piece? Do they want to bring in another older piece to go along with the quarterback, or do they want to go younger and rebuild over the course of years? So I think it would probably be more on the Raiders than anything else, but I'm not opposed to that at all.
Do you think AJ's going to be dealt?
No.
Why?
Because I don't think the Eagles are going to take on the amount of money that it's going to cost them and then get nothing in return. I think Howie is being dead straight honest. I think he wants a first-round pick. And I would go a step further. I would be asking for a 2027 first-round pick, not even a 2026. And then I would try to do something like, let's say we do this, right? Just for argument's sake. I don't think it'll happen, but give me a 2027 first, and then go ahead and maybe bring in Mike Evans for a year or two, if you can, if he becomes available. Something like that I think could work. But I don't think AJ is going anywhere because I don't think teams are going to pay what the Eagles need.
Were you going in the draft, Mark, in your opinion there? Or is it still yet free agency still going to determine on the direction at the draft that the Cowboys are going to go? Because the Cowboys here, you got to remember this one thing about the draft. It gets you younger and cheaper when you go draft. So, is that going to be more of a priority, or do you think free agency? Because Jerry says he wants – now, look, I heard it last year, right, Philly? We're all in. I didn't hear anything but all in. That was 2 years ago. I heard all in, and I didn't
it's all in this year. This is the year. This is it. Year 11 of chokitis.
Okay.
Let's go, baby. I love it. Let's do it. I want Dallas to sign everybody and get everybody because it will make the collapse in December that much more enjoyable. So do it. I hope Dallas goes crazy. Go ahead, Jerry, you 9,000-year-old bastard.
Here's the reality of it. First of all, here's the reality of it. You're going to have about $50 to $60 million. Do you look at this and say, we're going to bust the bank and get a Max Crosby? And the worry I have for Max Crosby is this is the 8th operation that he's had in 7 seasons. Okay? So if you're saying I'm going to give up a first-round pick, maybe another player, and $30 million this year, I'm not sure that that's the best move to make. Now, as far as the draft goes, it's going to be determined if they make a trade, of course, for Max Crosby, then you're not looking for an edge rusher per se right now. You're going to focus in on the linebackers or the cornerbacks. Now, I think what's going to happen is because when we hear everybody saying we need to get Clav Downs or we need to get Ruben Bain out there or some of the other ones, the reality is that 12 – one of these players that are high prospect are going to fall. And so you're better off getting that best player available than just saying, I'm going to reach for a guy. We reached for Tyler Guyton because we needed a tackle, and that didn't work out. We reached for Taco Charlton because we needed an edge rusher. So your best play is to get that best player available. But Jerry, I think, is thinking more of, if I can get a legitimate player for that, I'd rather be able to plug him in now and know that he's going to play right now, because there's a sense of urgency with Jerry Jones right now. I hope that there's nothing wrong or he's got some news or something or other, but they are moving differently, that this has got to be right now.
You bet.